The land remembers every drop of blood spilled on it. The wind carries the voices of those who fought to keep it, and the soil holds the secrets of the families who died for it. But some names never fade away. Some names carve themselves into the earth so deep that even fire, even time, cannot erase them. And one name is whispered louder than the rest, Dutton, out in the wide silence of Montana, a storm brews, not the kind that comes from the sky, but the kind that rises from the ground, born of greed, betrayal, and unfinished battles. The ranch stretches as far as the eye can see, golden fields now shadowed by threats both seen and unseen. For years, the land stood as the shield of the Dutton family, a fortress of heritage and blood. But now, the fortress is cracking, and the cracks are filled with enemies waiting for their chance to strike. At the center of it all are two figures who refuse to be broken. She, a flame that refuses to die, sharp and unyielding, carrying wounds too deep for most to bear. He, a storm held in human form, fierce in his loyalty, relentless in his strength. Together, they are bound by something stronger than fear, stronger than death itself. Theirs is a love forged in pain, tested in fire, and carried by the stubborn will to endure. But love alone cannot stop what's coming. The land is more than soil and stone. It is power, and power always draws enemies. Old faces return with old grudges, while new ones rise with hungrier eyes. Every fence cut, every deal made in the shadows, every line crossed brings them closer to war. A war that will test not just their loyalty to each other, but their loyalty to the ranch itself. And so, the question is not if they will fight. The question is how much they are willing to lose to keep what was never meant to be given away. Because the ranch does not forgive weakness, and the land does not forget betrayal. In this world, survival is not promised. It is earned in blood. The night falls heavy over the ranch, the kind of night that swallows sound and makes every shadow look like an enemy. In the quiet, the land feels alive, pulsing with memories of battles fought long before this generation took its claim. For Beth and Rip, silence is not peace, it is the warning before the storm. Each sunrise brings another challenge, another hand reaching for the ranch, another snake hiding in tall grass. And yet, beneath the weight of danger, their bond holds stronger than steel. She has always been the flame that burns against the darkness, and he has always been the shield that takes the blow. Together, they are more than survivors. They are a force that refuses to bow, but survival has a price, and lately, that price has grown higher. Whispers drift from the small towns that border the ranch, whispers of men who want to carve up the Dutton land for profit. Developers with fat wallets and colder hearts circle like vultures, convinced that they can outlast the legacy of a family. Tied to the soil, they bring promises of progress, new roads, new money, new futures, but behind every promise lies the blade of betrayal. Beth knows the game. She has lived it, fought it, and beaten it before. She carries her scars like armor, proof that the world has tried to destroy her and failed. Rip, on the other hand, knows the cost of loyalty. He has bled for this ranch, buried men for it, and he will do it again without hesitation. Still, the cracks are showing. The ranch hands sense the tension. The way the air feels different now, heavier with unspoken threats. A single wrong move could send everything spiraling into chaos. Yet, even in the midst of danger, Beth and Rip find moments of quiet strength sharing. Whiskey on the porch, staring out into the endless night, knowing that as long as they stand together, the world cannot break them. It is in those quiet moments that their love reveals itself not as something soft, but as something fierce and unshakable. Their love is war, and war is what the land demands. Enemies do not wait politely, and the land does not forgive hesitation. Soon, flames will rise on the horizon, and the fight will no longer be about business or contracts. It will be about survival, pure and raw. Every shadow creeping toward the ranch brings the same question: who dares to challenge Beth and Rip? When they have nothing left to lose, for those who make that mistake, there will be no mercy. The soil of Yellowstone has drunk its share of blood, and it is thirsty still. The Dutton name has always carried weight, but now it carries something more dangerous: inevitability. The world may change, outsiders may come with their greed, enemies may strike from the dark, but the land answers only to those strong enough to claim it. And Beth and Rip are not just strong, they are relentless. Their story is not one of peace and quiet endings. It is a story carved into the bones of the ranch itself, a story that refuses to die, no matter how many times the world tries to bury it. The question is no longer whether the ranch will survive. The question is who will survive with it. The storm finally breaks, and when it does not come with rain, it comes with fire. Fences cut in the night, cattle driven off into the dark, barns set ablaze as warnings of what is coming. The land that once stood as a sanctuary now feels like a battlefield, every acre soaked with tension, every horizon carrying the weight of enemies closing in. The Dutton Ranch has never been a place for the weak, and now it demands strength greater than ever before. Beth walks through the smoke with eyes that burn brighter than the flames themselves, while Rip follows with the steady calm of a man who has seen war and refuses to blink. Together, they are not running from the fight, they are waiting for it to come to them. The town feels it too: whispers in the diner, rumors in the bar, glances exchanged on street corners. Everyone knows that when trouble comes for the Duttons, it does not come quietly. Outsiders with polished boots and expensive suits arrive in town, their smiles sharp enough to cut. They bring offers dressed as gifts, promises of wealth, of modernization, of turning the old ranch into something better. But no one in town believes these men came to build anything. They came to take, and taking from the Duttons has always carried a cost most men cannot pay. Beth meets them head on. Every word from her lips is a dagger, every glance a challenge. She knows they're type men who believe they can control the land by controlling the people. But Beth is not a woman who bends. She is fire in its purest form, and she knows that fire either burns everything in its path or dies in silence. And Beth Dutton has never died in silence. Rip, on the other hand, is the storm that follows. He does not speak as much, but when he moves, it is with a finality that no one can mistake. The men who test his patience learn quickly that the Dutton Ranch does not protect itself with words, it protects itself with blood. The nights grow longer, and with them, the danger grows closer. Trucks linger at the edge of the property line. Strangers ride past the ranch, watching, waiting, measuring. It is a game of patience, of pushing the Duttons to strike first. But Beth and Rip are not playing anyone's game. They are riding their own, and in their game, mercy is a weakness they cannot afford. As the enemies grow bold, so too does their resolve. They know what is at stake, not just land, not just heritage, but the very soul of who they are. Without the ranch, they are nothing. With it, they are everything. Yet even as the battle builds, moments of humanity cut through the chaos. In the quiet before dawn, Rip saddles his horse, his hands rough and steady, while Beth watches from the porch, her eyes tired but unbroken. They share no words because words are not needed. Their silence is an unspoken vow. No matter what comes, they will stand together until the very end. Love, for them, is not soft. It is a weapon, sharper than steel, stronger than fear. And it is that love that fuels their fight, giving them the strength to face what most would run from. But the fight that waits for them is bigger than anything they have faced before. This is not just a battle for land or money. This is a battle for survival itself. Enemies are not only men in suits or rivals with guns. They are the ghosts of choices made long ago, the consequences of violence that never truly fades. Every grave on that land tells a story, and every story demands its ending. The Dutton Ranch is more than a home. It is a battlefield that never stops taking, never stops demanding more. And Beth and Rip are willing to give it, even if it costs them everything. When the smoke clears and the sun rises again, one truth will remain. The Dutton Ranch does not belong to those who want it, it belongs to those who can survive it. And Beth and Rip have survived everything. Dawn breaks over the valley, but the light does not bring peace, it only reveals the scars left behind. Smoke still lingers where barns once stood. The earth is torn by boot prints, tire tracks, and blood that has not yet sunk into the soil. For outsiders, this would look like ruin. For Beth and Rip, it looks like proof that they stood their ground, proof that the land still belongs to those willing to fight for it. The ranch breathes like a wounded animal, restless but alive. And as the sun rises, so too does the vow that neither Beth nor Rip will let it fall. Yet victory in this world is never clean. Every battle leaves ghosts, and the ghosts are never silent. Beth knows them by name, remembers their faces, feels the weight of choices she cannot undo. She does not run from that weight, she carries it, lets it sharpen her edges, lets it remind her that power is never free. Rip, too, is no stranger to ghosts. His hands have buried more men than he can count, his soul scarred by debts that can never be repaid. But if the world thinks those scars will break them, it does not understand who they are. Pain does not destroy Beth and Rip, it fuels them. Together, they are not haunted. They are forged. Still, the war is not over. The enemies that came in. The night are only the first wave. Larger storms are forming on the horizon, storms that will not be fought with fists or guns alone. There are papers, courts, contracts, all designed to bleed the ranch dry without ever firing a bullet. And yet, Beth is ready. If the battlefield shifts from dirt roads to boardrooms, she will fight there too, and she will burn the world down. Before letting anyone take what is hers, Rip knows this fire in her cannot be tamed, and he does not try to tame it. He stands beside it, steady as the earth beneath her feet, prepared to do whatever it takes when the fire rages too far. But beneath the chaos, beneath the fury and the war, lies the heart of their story. On the porch of the ranch house, in the dim light of a fading day, Beth leans her head against Rip's shoulder. The silence between them is not heavy, it is full. Alive with everything. They do not need to say. They know the road ahead will be brutal. They know enemies will come again, sharper, stronger, more ruthless than the last. But in that silence, they know something else. As long as they face it together, they are unbreakable. The ranch has demanded everything from them, but it has also given them everything: love, purpose, identity. It is not just land, it is blood, memory, and destiny. The world may see it as property, but to Beth and Rip, it is sacred ground. They would rather die defending it than live without it. And in that vow lies the heart of the story, the heartbeat that will drive every battle to come. The horizon glows with the colors of fire and promise. The wine carries the echo of hooves, of gunfire, of voices from the past urging them forward. Beth sharpens her resolve like a blade, and Rip pulls his hat low, his jaw set like stone. Together, they step into the unknown, ready for whatever storm comes next. Because theirs is not a story of peace, it is a story of survival, of love that burns hotter than any fire, of a legacy too strong to die. And when the dust settles, when the last bullet is fired and the last enemy buried, the land will speak. The only truth it has ever known. The Duttons are forever. Beth and Rip are forever. And Yellowstone will never fall.